Do you know what makes for a bad day? What makes for a bad day is snoozing, starting your day off late, starting your day off tired, starting your day off by mainlining everybody else's news feed on social media and looking at everybody else's life and saying to yourself, oh my God, they're on vacation, or gosh, they look so great, or their friends are so fancy, or my gosh, they've got so money. You start off your day looking at that, you're never gonna have a good day.
We're gonna stop, no more of that. Like, you don't go to war without a plan. You just don't come out, just, I hope I hit somebody. I told y'all, we ain't on that Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff. I'll be back. You're just blowing up stuff. We're on that Jason Bourne. We're going to the top floor. We got the scope. I'm being 100. We ain't on it. You just get up in the morning. I hit somebody. You done tore up the whole house. I mean, you got my man, but you done tore the whole house up. Got some other people in the process. He barely got him. You done killed him. Strategy. Open up. Boom, boom. Scope. You lay there. Boom. Couple hours. Boom. Got it. Mission accomplished. You move on. I need you to be strategic. I hear, look here, I want to go to the NBA. Not like that. You just run up and down the court. Not like that, you're not going. Yeah, no strategy.
One of the commonalities, one of the patterns that you spot really quickly if you interview hundreds of world-class performers is the fact that they have consistent morning routines. They have some type of recipe, a boot-up sequence that they use to win the day in some fashion. With some type of meditative practice, could be insight, it could be transcendental meditation. You could use an app like Headspace, which I think is a great place to start. And it trains you, it allows you to practice becoming more aware and less reactive so that you're not thrown off by the unexpected challenges and problems of the day.
You must come up with a morning routine that you do every single morning, or at least more mornings than not, that puts you in control of yourself and in control of your day. I cannot explain the power that I get from starting my day off and being bigger than my excuses and being in control. First and foremost, wake up on time. When that alarm goes off, get your butt out of bed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Why is that important for persistence? The reason why is because the first decision that you're making of the day is to actually get up and get moving. That means you are persistently bigger than your excuses. You are persistently bigger than feeling lazy. And you are persistently beating the feelings that typically stop you.
The hours that ordinary people waste, extraordinary people do, because they're not bored like most people. Most people need to medicate themselves with too much TV, too much Facebook, too much video, too much chit-chat, too much busyness because they don't know their goals.
First, you need to define your ideal lifestyle. What do you want to be doing from when you wake up to when you go to sleep? And so what do you want to have? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? And how much does that ideal lifestyle cost? And that becomes your target.
The skyscrapers of New York started with a picture in somebody's head. And so did spaceships. And so did curing a difficult disease. And so when I think of it like that, I always make sure I'm consciously creating, even if it is just in my thoughts. I write down what is the coolest thing that could happen this year. Like, perfect year. No limitations, no just be realistic. But like, what would be the coolest thing that could happen? The point is that you're putting trajectories in your brain and in your subconscious.
Have your big 5, the 5 things that need to happen this year for this to be your best year yet on a 1-page plan. Your top 5 values, put them on that same plan. Your top 5 sub-goals sequenced into each quarter of this year on that 1-page plan. And every morning while your competition or the rest of the world is asleep, look at your 1-page plan. Spend 20 minutes on that so it becomes a brain tattoo, a burning obsession. So it alights you with inspiration. So you go out in the world and you understand that clarity is power, and you so intimately know what has to happen during this day, this week, this month, this quarter, this year to get you closer to your mountaintop.
Each of the 4 Hebrew words that mean counting also mean successful person of accomplishment. People of achievement, people of aristocratic bearing are all people who can count. And that's true in everything. I mean, you've got to be able to measure your achievement, because if you don't, the days pass and nothing gets accomplished.
That was really true.
If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. The calendar is where you're going to plan and track your time. This is the best place to do it because it's quite literally a list of all of the hours in the day that you have and how much of it you can use and how much of it you should be sleeping, how much you've given away to other people. You have to be able to analyze it and look at it. Track every single thing that you do on the calendar. So that when you see that 2 hour, let's be real, maybe it's 3 or 4 hours of time that you spent in the evening after work, vegging out in front of the TV and Instagram stalking, you have to fully take that in because you are typing it in or writing it down as something you did for 2 to 3 to 4 hours. You really start to understand the equation of time and how much goes away so quickly, and then all of a sudden it's time for bed, and then you got to wake up the next day, and did you get that time for yourself, or did you just go straight to work? Calendar blocking will make you really see those moments that you can move some things around and get a lot of time back into your life.
I made a decision to take 2 worthless hours. Those are the hours between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. Those are like Netflix and chill hours. I took those hours, totally unproductive hours, I moved them to 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. So what used to be totally wasted hours are now totally useful hours. So now I go to bed at 11, but I get up at 5. And instead of having 2 hours of nonsense, I have 2 hours of hyper productivity first thing in the morning.
No matter how late at night you go, before you wrap up, really think through everything that you have to get done for the next day. So here's how I usually do it. First thing I do is I open up my calendar and I take a look at all the appointments that I have for the next day and the time that those appointments will take. Then I write down all the projects and the tasks that I need to get done, and I give myself a little bit of an estimate about how long I think each project or task will take. So when I do this, it informs exactly when I need to be at my desk and working, which tells me when I need to wake up to have enough time to do my little morning routine and get everything done without feeling rushed or stressed.
Large, uninterrupted blocks of time. You have to schedule, if you are a creator, blocks of time that are at least 2 to 4 hours or more in length. No Frankenstein monster of 20-minute breaks and 10-minute breaks combined into 3 hours will have the value of an uninterrupted block of 3 hours.
My morning block time to create and do the necessary steps and big projects or priorities that must happen to move my life forward. My reaction, I'll do that later. So I'll reply to my email, or I'll take voice messages, or I'll take meetings in the afternoon, not the morning. It's hugely important for you to get more block time, because listen, the more block time you have up front, the more freedom you gain on the back.
You think about the goals you want to reach, and then you have to break them down. Forget the goal, but break it down into a daily habit. So with fitness, you forget losing 30 pounds. The habit is cook every day, go to the gym 20 minutes a day. You want to write a book, you forget having written a book, you put down the habit, write 500 words a day. You want to be in an amazing relationship in 2 years, you forget that goal, you put the habit, I'm going to go out to 4 events where I might meet like-minded people. And that's your daily habit. So you bring it back to, what do I have to do today?
First step, stop prioritizing easy. Just because there's something that's easy to do does not mean it must be done today. What I would rather you to do is say, I am going to prioritize things today that will make significant steps forward in my life. Things that actually move the needle of your life forward. Things that actually contribute in ways that you find meaningful and significant and fulfilling.
Ask yourself, if I could only do one thing before I was called out of town for a month, what one activity would I want to be sure to get completed? And start on that activity immediately, first thing.
Spend the first 90 minutes of your workday on your single most game-changing opportunity. Because what happens? A lot of us get to work and we spend our best hours on our least important activities. The morning hours are when you have the most focus, when you have the most energy, and when you have the most willpower.
You need to completely unplug and reset. And the reason that's necessary is because there's an epidemic, and I do mean epidemic in this country, of information abuse and information addiction. As giving everyone around you, every person in the world, immediate access to you is inviting interruption and inviting minutia to completely invade your life. There's an experiment done at King's College, for example, that showed that people who were stoned scored 6 points better on an IQ test than people who were interrupted by email and phone.
I see a lot of people, and it's not judging them, it's just observing them. Every time their phone rings, they check it. Or they have, these loud notifications. So they're constantly being distracted. And we know what the research says. It takes 21 minutes to refocus your focus after you've been distracted.
Your inbox is a nice organizing system of other people's agendas. That's what an inbox really is. It's a nice organizing system of every email in there is someone needing something from you or pulling from you. That's what most of them are, isn't it true? And so what most people do is they open up their inbox and they start responding to other people's emergencies. Or they start looking through all their emails to see, well, what am I supposed to do today? Or what's the biggest fire I have to fight today? In other words, they're living their life in reaction versus living their life in intention, in intelligence, in direction.
Elimination is simple. It's getting rid of everything, all the static, all the noise, all the interruptions, all the micromanaging, all the people possible that interfere with getting you to that ideal lifestyle.
You need to learn how to exercise your no. See, your yes might not have its value anymore. Why? Because you give it away too much. You give it to too many people. You give it away too often. You're always overcommitting, and then you feel drained and frustrated, and you don't have gratitude in your heart because you're overcommitted. Well, that all started with a yes that should have been a no.
Brendan, could you do this for me? Brendan, could you help that? Brendan, could you endorse this? And I know you get the same thing. Could you help me? Could you do these things? I need da 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 da. And you get all of these people asking you for something. How often are you doing what they're saying and what they're asking for? The more that you're doing what the world tells you or asks of you, frankly, the sad thing is the more you lose your life. You lose yourself in it. You become a pleaser or a placater. You become a person who is just so busy all the time. You're wiped out. You know what I'm talking about. You cannot prioritize other people's emergencies. And here's what you need to do. Learn to say no. Prioritize the things that are going to move you forward, and everything else, realize that's got to be an initial no. You owe nothing to anybody but your own health, your own family, your own major true contributions of what you are and what you want to give to the world.
In the process of re-engineering in business, the whole process of re-engineering is based on what is called process simplification. And the way that you simplify a process is you stop doing things. You eliminate low-value tasks to free up more time for the things that are most important to you. You keep going through your life and saying, what are the things that I could get rid of, that I could stop doing altogether, that I could delegate to someone else, or that I could combine and do altogether? You keep thinking, how can I simplify my life? How can I re-engineer my life so that it's simpler and more streamlined? And then you concentrate more and more time doing fewer and fewer things, which give you greater and greater results, financial and satisfaction, emotional, in your life. Self-discipline seems to be the foundation habit that makes everything else possible. And the best definition of self-discipline is that self-discipline is the ability to make yourself do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. You see, anybody can do it if they feel like it. It's when you don't feel like it and you do it anyway that you eventually develop the self-discipline that makes everything else possible.
And you got to look, okay, what is the long-term goal that I'm looking at? What am I really trying to get done in the long term? And you say, oh, you know what? I'm actually waking up today early so I can be ahead of the curve, so I can sell more of these widgets or whatever, so that I can buy a house. And you know what? Today matters. Today matters. This decision that I'm making right now is that first step. It's me taking one stroke, swimming in the right direction, heading towards the shore. And if I don't take this, I'm not making any progress.
If you like this video, check out last month's Believe films on how to achieve your most ambitious goals. The link is right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
If you don't think you deserve them, then you'll do things that will keep you from getting them.